Not too less.
It's now my great honor to introduce the 2025 Captain Ron Erchul Environmental Leadership Award. The award recognizes a Virginian who has made significant individual efforts to improve the environment. The award is named, as I mentioned yesterday, after VMI professor Ronald A. Erchul, the founder of the Environment Virginia Symposium. We began this award in 2000 when Captain Erchul retired to commemorate his legacy for this conference. Now, in your program book, you can see the many distinguished Virginians who have received this award over the past 23 years. So now I'm going to ask Miss Peggy Sanner, last year's recipient, to join me at the podium. So members of the environmental community in Virginia, you all, nominate the candidates who are judged on the basis of their vision, expertise, commitment, integrity, communication skills, accomplishments, and personal diplomacy. So Peggy's going to explain the process here, and then we'll announce the winner of this year's award.
Good morning. From the nominations we received for the 2025 Erchul Environmental Leadership Award, our Program Advisory Committee reviewed the nominations and voted on the finalists. A panel of judges comprised of past award winners then selected this year's winner. We want to thank the individuals who took the time to honor their colleagues by nominating them for this award. A talented group of environmental leaders here in Virginia were nominated for this award. We heard over and over again how deserving all the nominees were and how hard the votes were. Colonel Gray?
So this year's winner is Miss Tanya Denckla Cobb.
Tanya Denckla Cobb has served as the director of the University of Virginia's Institute for Engagement and Negotiation, IEN, since September 2015. After training as a mediator in 1991, she became in 1993 one of the first Virginia certified mediators, and outside of her day job continued to mediate for the courts for 18 years through 2011. In 1967, she joined the Institute for Engagement and Negotiation, where her work involves overseeing the facilitation and mediation of a broad range of community and environmental issues, as well as a wide range of trainings in conflict management and negotiations. In 1999, Tanya co-founded and continues to serve as teaching faculty for the Virginia Natural Resources Leadership Institute, VNRLE, we all know it, a program that has helped shape hundreds of Virginia environmental professionals across all sectors. Tanya is recognized as a professional public policy mediator with deep experience in mediating and facilitating challenging issues across a broad range of community and regional issues. Under her direction, IEN evolved from the Institute for Environment and Negotiation to the Institute for Engagement and Negotiation, reflecting the growth and breadth of her work. IEN is a nationally recognized leader in fostering collaborative change across a broad range of environmental, social, and economic issues. What began as a public service organization at the University of Virginia at the School of Architecture is now, under Tanya's leadership, an integral programmatic element of the UVA Weldon Cooper Center. Tanya and her staff continue to develop new approaches to old issues and new challenges, developing creative, innovative, and effective ways of engaging people and solving problems. Over the years, Tanya has worked with communities across the Commonwealth, as well as numerous industry, governmental, indigenous, and nonprofit organizations. She's well known in Virginia's environmental space and highly regarded and well-liked. Tanya has said that, this is a quote, "Ever since taking up my first mediation training in 1991, bringing people together to find creative and workable solutions has been a passion. As director of IEN, I strive to be a servant leader for an extraordinary team of people who enjoy working together while making a difference in our world. I've personally worked on a broad palette of issues at the intersection of environment, health, and community, from urban forestry to food and agriculture, from septic and waste issues to stormwater and sea level rise. Tanya's impact on Virginia's environment and those who work on its protection and restoration extends from assisting local governments on developing and implementing ways to respond to climate change, to training past and future generations of environmental professionals, to providing expertise and guidance to Virginia's tribal communities. Tanya is very deserving of the Erchul Environmental Leadership Award for her commitment to the well-being of Virginia's environment, its communities, and its citizens."
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. I am so honored and really so incredibly humbled learning, 14 other people well deserving also nominated, and just an honor and recognition to all of you. So I'm honored to accept this award. And I want to tell you why I was and still am stunned by this award. You all in this room are on the front line of such challenging work in conserving our prime ag and forest lands, cleaning up our waterways, creating corridors and habitat for our wildlife, conceiving new techno-wizardry for ways we can live with water rising and coming down mountain hollers. You are the wheels helping to create sustainable pathways forward. And me and my small but very mighty team at the Institute for Engagement and Negotiation, some of whom are here today, I've always thought of us as the grease in those wheels. And through facilitation and consensus building and training, we're the grease trying to help you find that common ground, create the pathways forward for us. So in my mind, I thought, what the heck? I've heard of bicycles getting awards, but when does grease ever get an award? So I'm stunned. And yet, the more I've thought about it, the more I've been thinking that maybe there's no better time for grease to be recognized. The work of listening and deeply listening to each other, the work of seeking to understand before being understood, is needed today, perhaps more than ever before. As humans, we are all biological beings, and as human mammals, we crave to be seen, acknowledged, and understood. And this requires communication. Yes, Rob, we can hug a tree, and we can feel enormous comfort in that tree's energy. And yes, I confess, I actually do that. And it feels good. But the truth is that as social mammals, we really crave to be seen and understood by other humans. This is our challenge today. How do we bridge the divides that seem to be all around us? I want to offer something that I heard from a colleague of mine this fall, Brian Williams, who runs the Listening and Learning Lab at UVA. He teaches his students to suspend judgment, extend grace, and bring curiosity. This is my new mantra. I've actually put it on my refrigerator. It is simple and powerful, and it works. Suspend judgment, extend grace, bring curiosity. It's so easy to judge. We all do it. We all do it every day. Psychology research has shown us that we reach conclusions about someone within milliseconds of meeting them. But today, social media and the isolation of COVID have given our snap judgments and snap reactions space to soar, encouragement to run wild like dogs chasing each other in a dog park. The question we face daily is, are we going to let ourselves be driven by these? David Brooks, a conservative commentator and writer, has a fantastic new book called How to Know a Person: The Art of Seeing Others Deeply and Being Deeply Seen. I can't recommend this book highly enough. He talks about defiant humanism as an antidote to this emotional soup, a way to get us back to having real conversations, to talk to people who are depressed, to talk to people who are suffering from grief, to talk to people across our differences. He says the first moral act is the act of paying attention to someone, casting a gaze on them that is warm and compassionate as understanding. He talks about how democracy is essentially people with different views coming together, trying to understand each other, coming together, trying to compromise, coming together and trying to solve problems, maybe adding even to each other's viewpoints. He offers fabulous questions for how we can build this understanding, like, tell me about your growing up. Tell me about a time you felt seen. If this next 5 years is a chapter of your life, what would that chapter be about? I like to ask people, what brings you joy? So this award, wow, holy cow. I'd like to think it is actually recognizing the importance of this kind of human grace. My entire time at IN, my entire team at IN we try to practice and teach these things. And even though we may not always succeed, we all feel privileged to do this work because we see how transformative it is. And the big secret here is that you can do this too. You too can be the grease in the wheel at your own organizations and with your partners and with those who have different perspectives and positions. You can do something radical. You can reach out to someone. Maybe it is someone sitting on the side and not participating. Maybe it's someone who is speaking loudly or seemingly aggressively. Maybe it's someone on the opposite side of the issue from you. Have the courage and the intention to suspend judgment. Use your compassion and caring to extend grace. Listen more deeply. Bring curiosity. Ask open questions of the other. Most of all, reach out sooner than later. Suspend judgment, extend grace, bring curiosity. It may be hard. It is often hard, but it is rewarding and it works. I'd like to end with a quote from a famous 13th century Sufi poet, Rumi. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. Let's all decide to meet each other out in that field, beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing. And again, I can't thank you enough for this recognition. I'm very honored, very humbled. Thank you.